Good morning, friends. Let me wish you a very happy new year. And as I promised you, from this day forward, you will be receiving a lot of posting on my YouTube day after day on different types of menus and recipes. And to begin with, I told you that I will start with the breakfast menu, and I've already showed you how to make rava upma. And to go along with it, I also showed you a sweet which is rava kesari. Now today we will start with the traditional breakfast menu for most South Indians, that is the idli. So I'm going to show you how to make a wonderful soft idli like jasmine flower. And to go along with that, I will show you two types of chutneys. One will be a traditional coconut chutney, the other will be a tomato chutney. Shall we begin? Please join me. Now this is a traditional cooker which we use to make idlis. I'm going to put about 3 cups of water, which is measured by a standard cup here. So whenever I talk about cup, this will be a standard measure. Now this is almost about quarter height of the vessel, which will be adequate so the water will not dry out until the idli is cooked. So now I'm going to light the fire and let the water heat up. In the meantime, this is the most important aspect of how to make a good idli. Now what I would suggest is, I'm going to show you how to see that when you make the idli, it should not get stuck to the vessel. So I'm going to add a little bit of Gingely oil to coat it, so that when the idli is cooked and it's being removed, it will not stick to the vessel. So now I'm going to coat it uniformly. See, in most of the restaurants in the older time, they used to use a piece of cloth, a muslin cloth, but that is not a very healthy way of doing it. But this is a idli atta we have already made and kept it ready, and I have done it overnight, and then after it has fermented, it has been removed and kept in the refrigerator. So regarding the making of the atta, we will do it as a separate episode, but in this episode I am going to show you how to use the atta which is ready to make the idli. Now very important aspect here is that you see that top layer has got a lot of gaseous sort of sediment. You should never disturb the sediment. So when you want to make the idli, you should start taking it from one edge of this, and you should take it from here. This vessel, this particular thing has already been damped, so you should pour the idli into this. You should make sure that you don't pour fully. You just pour about half the level of that cavity. So when it's get cooked, it will get completely. Otherwise, when you put it full, it will come very bulging over. So what will happen is you have a bulge on both sides, and idli will tend to become hard. So this is the way how to make a very soft idli. You should never ever mix this. Once you mix it at any point of time, once it is ready, you will find that the idli will become hard. This is a very important secret. So never ever disturb that layer. Now you see, I am only pouring softly about half the cavity. This is the very important secret of making a soft idli. Right? Now this is kept into this. Now I am going to place this thing into the cooker. Close it tightly. Now this would take about 10 minutes approximately to get cooked, and in the meantime we will start making two types of chutneys that could go along with this idli. Now here we will start with coconut chutney. This is a very traditional coconut chutney. In order to make chutney, I have taken a measurement of 1 cup of grated coconut. So this is 1 cup of grated coconut, and I've got 2 green chillies of this size to go along with it, and then This is a particular nut which we call varchakalle, and it is called gram dhal. I have got about 2 teaspoons of this, and then of course I got a salt to taste. Now I shall transfer this grated coconuts into the mixie grinder, and to this I am adding those 2 chillies which is washed and kept ready, and to this I am adding this 2 teaspoons of dal, and then I'm going to add salt to taste, about 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon. Now I'm going to grind this, and I will be adding a little bit of ice water to it, as to the extent what is required. But to mix it, I'm going to grind it first. Now this is a little dry, so now we're going to start adding water. We should not take care not add too much water. This would not take more than 1/2 cup to 3/4 cups of water. So I am adding about 1/4 cup of water initially to see how the consistency comes out. Now this is Can you show this how the consistency is now at this stage, and after I'm added water? It should not be ground too fine, otherwise the taste would not be very good. Now I've added about 3/4 cups of water to this. Now the chutney is done. I'll transfer it to the serving bowl. Now what we need to do is we have to season this chutney. Now I have a typical South Indian kadai which we use for seasoning basically. So I'm going to keep this kadai. And to this I'm going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of gingely oil. You don't put too much of oil for the chutney. And I will allow the oil to heat up a little bit. And here I have got about 1/2 teaspoon of mustard. And I will allow it to crackle a little bit. You will find it's slowly starting to crackle. Now to this I am adding a little 1/2 teaspoon of urud dhal. Now I reduce the flame, and for a little bit of added flavor, I am adding a little bit of a little dash of asafoetida, and I'm now adding about 2 or 3 leaves of curry patta, and then I switch off the flame and I mix it well, and I add it to this chutney. Now I'm going to mix this chutney. Friends, the beautiful coconut chutney is ready to be served along with the idli. Now, I want to show you the other type of chutney for which the ingredients are. This is basically tomato onion chutney. So for which I have 2 large onions here and about 3 tomatoes, and I've got about 1 teaspoon of mustard and 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and of course asafoetida, and this is about 2 teaspoon of chili powder. Now what I am going to do is I am going to grind all this together, and then I'm going to add oil, and then I'm going to do the seasoning with mustard, and then once it is crackled I will be adding a little bit of turmeric and a little bit of chili powder with a little bit of asafoetida. Then I will transfer the gravy onto the kadai once this is mixed, and then I will start turning it and fry it completely and remove it. It's a very simple dish. So let me join me in doing this grinding. So here I am going to cut the onions into a few pieces so that it grinds easily. This is done. First, I will grind the onions. Okay, if you have come closer and look, I have cut the onions and the tomatoes into smaller pieces so that it grinds easily. Now we're going to start grinding. You have to grind this to a fine paste. Mind you, I have not added any water. The whole thing is getting ground with the water in the tomato and the onions are making it into a fine gravy. Now I have ground this to a very fine gravy, right? Now let us start cooking this I'm heating up a kadai to fry the onion and tomato gravy. Once the kadai is a little warm, I've got about 4 tablespoons of Gingely oil in this cup. I'm pouring this. And you have to allow the oil to sort of warm up. All through my cooking, I have been impressing upon you friends, key to a good cooking without any problem is that concentration must be there. Whatever time you have allotted for cooking, otherwise shut down everything, go finish any other urgent matter and then again come back and start. But then continuous cooking is always a better taste, but stop and do also can be done in an emergency situation. But never leave anything on the oven and go attending to some other work like telephone call or anything. Now I have added the mustard. It will start crackling, and now it has started crackling. I have got about 2 teaspoons of turmeric powder, which I have added now. I'm lowering the flame a little bit. Now to this, I have got about 4 teaspoons of red chili powder, plain chili powder. This is not sambar podi but chili powder. Now I am sort of frying this chili powder because you have to remove the raw taste of chili and turmeric. While you fry it in the oil, it will get really cooked, but you have to do it in the low flame lest they burn out. See, normally I would switch on my chimney, but since they make a lot of noise affecting the audio, I have kept it off. Now I have transferred the puree onto this. And I start mixing this thoroughly. This is a very, very simple chutney, quite tasty, doesn't take long to make. I'll increase the flame a little bit to speed up the whole thing. You have to fry it for some time until the onion raw taste and the tomato raw state, this thing is completely removed. You can't rush this, otherwise after you take it out you will find they are both raw. So let this get cooked. In the meantime, I want to show you the idli has been done and I have removed it before starting the, and I'm going to transfer it to a plate for serving. I use a very thin spoon to remove the idli which is cooked. You see the size of the idlis, and now I'm going to if you find that the idli is sticking to it, please dampen the spoon which I am removing with a little water, and then you can remove it much easily. See, like this I have, once you dip it in water, it will come out very easily. Can you see this is all, the water is slowly evaporating in from the onion juice and the tomato puree, and it is starting to thicken. This is so very simple, but then it needs a little patience to know when to take it off the flame, because you take it early and it will be raw, and if you overcook it, it will be burnt. So it's a question of watching. Smelling, as you smell, you will realize by experience that this is, by tasting a little bit, you will know that it is cooked. It's always safe to cook with a low or a medium flame, because the tendency is that you want to rush through your daily routine so that you have to send your people to office or school. You tend to rush it, but these things are not done very fast. But this can always be prepared overnight and stored in a refrigerator and then served along with an idli, which can be done very fast. While you put the idli in, you can do your other work. I have even a good suggestion that when you are really hard pressed for time, I have a different way of doing the idlis with the electric cooker, which will shut off by itself. We have an electric cooker here and we can do this idlis in this. One day I will show it to you. This is an electric cooker which can be, it automatically cuts off, so no human intervention attention is required once the idli is placed into it. I will show it to you one day separately about that. So I think this is now done. I'm going to switch off the heat and I'm going to transfer it for serving. And for a little bit of flavor, I'm adding a little asafoetida, turning it over. Now this is done. Now I'm going to transfer it to this bowl. Now we are done. So I'm going to serve this is my simple South Indian breakfast and I would be serving it. This is a gunpowder or molha pudi which I have made it some days earlier. So now to this I add a little Gingely oil. This is a very traditional accompaniment. So my friends, here is a beautiful South Indian soft idli. You can see it here, very soft. And I thank you for taking this journey with me today to make wonderful idli. I hope you try it and enjoy it and give me a feedback. And tomorrow I shall probably show you how to make a medu vada with Vengaya onion sambar or Vengaya sambar traditional. So thank you. Until then, goodbye.